What's going on, guys? We are back once again, and we are going to be reviewing Fast and Furious 5 or Fast 5. So if you guys have not seen the film, first off, go check it out. It's an amazing film. Now, again, I remember when this movie came out. I remember I went to go watch this movie in theaters with one of my best friends at the time, even though he and I are no longer friends. And first off, let me say this. The opening to this film was amazing. The entirety of the film is picking up right where the fourth one left off, where Brian and Mia get Dom out of jail, or not really in jail yet, but pretty much on the transport bus. They release him and they go on the run, and they're trying to make money, and they're running away from the feds and everybody else. Now, they get so hot on the trail of everybody. We get introduced to Dwayne Johnson's new character by the name of Luke Hobbs, who is a spec ops soldier with the police and FBI and DEA, and among all of them, to where he goes on the hunt for everybody, right? And then when they're in Brazil, they come across a new enemy where they do get revealed of one of the cars that was stolen, that there is money being hidden away by Reyes, and they need a team. So this is when they get Giselle, this is when they get Roman, this is when they get Han, this is where they get pretty much everybody to be combined. You know, Letty even gets brought up in the film. We get Lucas' character returning. And what's crazy is even Vince is in this movie, so he comes back, and what we see in the film is that they all come together to come up with a plan while Hobbs is on their tail. Now, I will say that this movie had a lot of action. This is probably like one of the main ones that just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And a lot of people, including myself at the time, we got to see the fight between Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson in this film, you know, Dom versus, you know, Hobbs. And a lot of people were like, oh crap, you know, I can't believe we're seeing this. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. That scene was incredible. The choreography, the tension between these two guys, it was crazy. And it does show of them fighting, and then after almost getting pretty much arrested, and then Hobbs' team gets eliminated, and then they pretty much become friends a little bit at the point after Dom does save him, and showing more and more loyalty throughout the line as well. And even we get to see how Elena does, who is a new character, who is local law enforcement, does get introduced by Hobbs as well, to where he enlists her to help them go after the gang. And then once that happens, we see where she and Dom start, you know, slowly having feelings for one another and start trying to work together with one another as well, while the heist goes a certain way, and then trying to survive and keep everyone alive at the same time as well. Now, again, I remember seeing this movie. I was very hyped to see this film, and there was a lot of badass moments, like where, you know, Dwayne Johnson shows up with the team, and he's like, you know, you're under arrest, and Dom's like, I don't feel under arrest. How about you, Brian? They're like, no, not one bit, not even a little bit. And just that whole scene of like Vin Diesel saying, we're in Brazil. And if you guys are unaware, that is pretty much like, this movie is going to be, I guess, a sequel compared to number 10. And I think it's going to be amazing, you know, especially with what happened. And it does get brought up about, you know, where Vince pretty much did become dirty, where he knew exactly what was going on, and Dom finds out, and he put, you know, Brian and me at risk, and Dom didn't like that, and that's why he told Vince to go. And we do see Vince die, so unfortunately we do see where Jesse, he did die in the first one. Letty supposedly died in the fourth one, and then now Vince died in the fifth one. So there's not much of the original gang left other than Dom and Mia and Brian. And of course, oh man, I can't remember his name offhand. The other one, I can't remember his name. Man, it's gonna bug me, and then after the video, guys, I'm gonna remember. But again, this was a badass film. I will say this. It had a lot of great action scenes. It had amazing choreography. It was great drama. It had a great ending, because they do get away and they have a lot of money, and then they pretty much see where they go someplace. I think, I'm not sure if it was still in Brazil or someplace else. And we see where Mia is pregnant with Brian's child. and Helena does get with Dom, and they pretty much, that could have been a very good ending, but then with coming back with 6, we do see, which again I will go into 6 another time, but I think that this movie really did come into a lot of contact of what a lot of fans were wanting, was, you know, that hype moment, the fights and the crazy stunts and everything of that nature. And again, this movie really did bring up the stunts more than I would say the last 4 films, and it really does show. And I will say that this is pretty much how the family does get started. You know, this is pretty much of everyone becoming family, everyone becoming good friends, and how they all get money, how Giselle and Han hooked up, and how, you know, just all these characters that are just combined, right? And I think it did very well with this film. Again, this is probably one of my favorite Fast and Furious films. I still watch it every time when it comes on, and there's still a lot of badass scenes. There's still a lot of comedy scenes, and I can't wait to see number 10. So again, guys, we are going to be going through all the Fast and Furious movies. Again, not everyone is probably the best, but again, there are some great moments in here as well. So again, if you guys agree, that's fine. If you don't agree to, that's perfectly fine as well. Overall, guys, what is your thoughts on Fast 5? Is it great? Is it bad? Is it amazing? Is it good? Is it eh? What is your overall thoughts? Please let me know down in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys on the very next one.